Thank you for watching Meatsauce Monty. He's Paul Meatsauce Lambert. I'm Matt Montgomery. Close personal friends call me Monty. You can call me whatever you want.
I don't even know your first name.
You did. You remembered it last week.
I did?
Yeah.
Did I call you Scott?
Nope, you actually got it right. But
who the hell's
I think
Scott?
only the people on YouTube. Scott's our cameraman.
Oh yeah,
He's the one that's doing this amazing work. He makes
very
you look
good.
He makes you look good.
No.
Yeah.
My mom and dad made me look good. Scott is. I hope Scott has nothing to do with that.
Scott is. Well, he's trying his best.
No, he is.
We'll give him
he
credit
does a
for
great
that.
job.
All right, let's get started with the Vikings. Okay, last week,
Hideous.
the performance in Pittsburgh.
Hideous.
Do you think, what difference do you think it makes if Sam Bradford got the start there? Or do
Well,
you think that the performance would have been similar even if he would have been healthy?
I don't know, because it's a tough question. And we had B-Rob on Monday, and I asked him, I said, is it human nature? It has to be when if you go up, you're all ready for your job, you work all week on it, and as much as you love Case Keenum, as much as you love the backup quarterback, as much as he's your teammate, there has to be a point where you go,
A little bit of a letdown.
You're not going to emotionally do it. You better not let anybody else know that you're upset that the backup quarterback's playing. But there has to be some added pressure on the defense, knowing that it's not, it's not Sam. And after what Sam did 2 weeks ago, you got to be like, okay, well then you get in there and everything that could possibly fall apart falls apart.
Absolutely.
I don't know if they win, but I think it's a lot closer because on that one play where Case missed Diggs wide open, I think Sam hits that. And who even knows if they're in that position? But with Sam on the field, he can set the protection up better. He's seen that team a bunch. He knows what he's doing. He's a veteran quarterback. I don't know if they win, but I think it's a little bit closer if Sam's on the field.
Okay, all right. No need to look back. Let's talk more about Sam. The injury, it seems to be, it's like this mysterious injury of, obviously it's his knee, it's the knee he's had multiple surgeries on. But people don't even know what happened. He said it was non-contact, but he said he felt it in the game. Do we know anything about the injury, and do you like to say chronic bone on bone just to try to get a laugh?
Yeah, I would. In most cases, I would laugh at that, but I've matured, and I'm not. It's Sunday morning. We don't need to laugh at bone on bone.
See, the State Fair. I think chronic bone on bone should be I think that's a T-shirt
I've
already.
seen that movie.
Have you? The first one or the sequel?
It's a weed movie.
Oh,
but
okay.
anyhow, yeah, I don't know what's wrong with him. I mean, you get this swelling scenario. You have this happen. That's not good, and then all of a sudden we hear that this comes out. We asked Ben Lieber the day that this came out that he would limited in practice, and then he goes, I'm not worried about it. Well, then you see him get off the plane, and he looks slow.
Yeah.
Then you see him go on the field, and he literally is like...
He's hobbling.
3 minutes he's out there, and the difference is, and then the following night, Odell Beckham Jr. goes out, hasn't played since that wicked injury. I think it was against Cincinnati. And he runs through it. He gets a sweat going.
Yeah.
He gets all that up, and he barely plays. Sam threw 3 or 4 passes, kind of looked at Shug and went...
And said, I'm out.
I can't do it.
Yeah.
So today I think was good, and we'll see how the whole walkthrough goes right before the game, but I don't know. It worries me because when you have 2 knee injuries like that, it's a knee.
Yeah.
If it's anything else, you can kind of get through it, but they put that Toradol or whatever in it into it that numbs his whole body.
So he won't even feel it.
Yeah. So if he can play, he'll play. But if this is probably why they didn't sign into that long-term deal in the offseason. This is why Teddy Bridgewater's still on the team. It's a whole mystery that they're going through, but it's a chronic thing. It obviously has to be, or they would have signed into a long-term deal. But yeah,
we'll talk more about today's game against Tampa Bay. But you brought it up, Teddy Bridgewater. Does this change the dynamic? He's PUP list.
Yeah.
Are we thinking week 7, week 8, maybe sooner if need be? If we're stuck with Case Keenum. Well, no offense to Case, but if he's supposed to be the backup for a reason, and if he gets the starts all this time, would Teddy become the starter when he's healthy enough?
The thing about Teddy Bridgewater is everybody kind of looks at it like it's like the Brett Favre scenario where he's just going to come in and save this team. Teddy Bridgewater technically hasn't played in what? If he does, let's say he comes off the PUP list week 6, that's what, early November, mid-October, whatever it is. That's
mid-October.
14, 15 months, and he hasn't played football in a live game.
Top
the
shape.
last game he played in was that preseason game against San Diego. You go back even further, he hasn't played football in a live football game in almost 2 years. So I don't know if it changed anything, but if we hear later today that Sam can't play, this gets worse,
right?
Then you got to bring in somebody else.
Well,
you
okay.
have to.
You have to bring in somebody else. I wanted to bring up, I can't even say, is it Kyle Sloter?
Yeah,
Sloter?
Which they paid more to get him from Denver.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Who is this kid, number
I have
one?
no idea.
But also, did you see the quote where he said, I'm not a master of the offense yet? He's been here for like 2.5 weeks, but he said he thinks he knows 70 to 80% of the plays. That'd be like saying you're brand new, you got here 2 weeks ago, I could do 70 to 80% of what the starters were doing, but I don't have it
on the
mastered.
power trip.
What's that?
I give that much effort on the power trip.
70 to 80% all
Not
the
even
time?
that. Not even that.
Less
Maybe
than?
40%.
Are we ever going to bring up
deal is.
Sloter's name again, or is he pretty much?
Well, he was brought up for the exact same scenario that happened on Sunday. You got to have a backup.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't have. Yeah, I think Jarius Wright may have been the backup to Sloter. So you can't have Case Keenum out there, and Case gets hurt against a very good defense. So you got to bring him up. They bring him up, but I don't know. I mean, if the best thing that could happen on Sunday is he is inactive, or we see an email that, a news dump, they like to say Friday night or something, that they sent him back to the practice squad. That would be your dead-on indication
then you know something's
that
happening.
Sam's playing. But the longer Sloter's on the active roster this week, the
more indicative that the knee is bad.
Play. So if they make a late, mid-Saturday afternoon, which I think they did, that was maybe the first sign. They made that. We got an email about how Sloter had been signed and Exum had been cut or waived. So if something comes out Saturday, but they need Sam to play. Sam has to play, or this season is going to take a quick turn.
Staying with Sam, sort of, head coach Mike Zimmer and his relationship with the media, it seems to have, I don't want to say it's turned, it just got a little bit more tenuous. Talking about, he said, I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know if it's 1 week. I don't know if it's 6 weeks. Do you think that Zim needs to change his attitude towards the media, or should he be more in the know of the health of his starting quarterback?
No, I think he 100% knows, but you got to, in today's...
He's being coy?
In today's day and age, you have to have some kind of leg up on your competition. For them to look at two quarterbacks all week, you got to go through that. I mean, what is he going to say? Yeah, it's a bone bruise. It's in this knee. It happened this. No, the less he shares, the better. And especially in today's cyber world where everything leaks, the less information, the better. I think after, he doesn't like to lose. That's what you want in a head coach. He obviously, the next day at the press conference on Monday, he apologized for how crabby he was, but I don't blame him. I don't think he has to change his attitude
So you
at
think
all.
it's more gamesmanship of trying to keep the information, keep
they
it close
want,
to the vest?
They want Tampa
has nothing
for
to do with the media.
as long as Tampa possibly can have to game plan for two quarterbacks. Now, it's not Sam Bradford and Michael Vick. They're both similar, where they're both going to stay in the pocket, but it's still two different quarterbacks.
Absolutely.
As long as they can go, they're going to go.
We're going to introduce our special guest, former linebacker E.J. Henderson, in just a couple minutes. But real quick, we're going to break down the Bucs. Do we need to be as worried about Jameis Winston as we were Ben Roethlisberger? Do we need to be as worried about Mike Evans as we were Antonio Brown? Do you think that the Bucs are that much of an offensive threat? I know they crushed Chicago last week, but do we need to be as nervous about their offense, and are they as potent as the Steelers were?
Tampa's the best team in the NFC.
Really?
Yes. Tampa
above
is
Detroit?
Tampa's the best team in the NFC. If
above Atlanta?
Yeah, oh yeah. If they played on a neutral site, Tampa's good because they got the size, they got the quarterback, they got the running back. Once what's-his-face comes back from suspension, defensively they're great. Gerald McCoy's one of the best defensive tackles.
He's going to cause trouble up front.
He's unbelievably good. Yeah, I think they're the best. Mike Evans is a stud. They got that Bart guy or whatever, the tight end. They got O.J. Howard, the rookie from Alabama, who's dynamite. Deshaun Jackson's a burner on the outside. They're a very good team.
Their running game, I think, only 67 yards last week.
Yeah, but they're without what's-his-face.
Who's
he's
not in, yeah, I know, I see his face. Fantasy.
The fantasy guy.
Martin.
He's out in, I think,
so he's
2
got
or 3 more weeks.
Jacquez
Yeah,
Rogers.
the guy from, I think, Oregon State. But offensively, they're wonderful. And on a fast track like US Bank Stadium is, it could be a long day again.
We're going to do our predictions at the end of the show, but I get the hint. You get first pick this week.
Sure.
You seem very nervous about this one.
But it all depends on Sam Bradford. If Sam Bradford plays, we saw against, granted, New Orleans, who may be the worst defense of all time, they can score points. They can score points with Sam Bradford. It'll be indoors. It'll be raining outside, but the weather won't have anything to do with it. It's a fast track at US Bank Stadium. If Bradford plays, they can keep up with him. But this Tampa team, I think will be in the Super Bowl. That's how good they are.
Wow.
They're that good. Offensively, they're awesome. Mike Evans is a stud.
You are putting yourself out there going into week 3, the prediction of you think Super Bowl.
I think I said it on the radio,
amazing.
But yeah, I think Tampa will be in the Super Bowl.
I must not have been listening.
I wasn't either, and I'm on it.
All right, it's time for us to introduce our guest of the week, former Minnesota Vikings linebacker, E.J. Henderson. Thank you to Mystic Lake for having E.J. Henderson here with us this week. E.J., thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So, everybody wants to talk about your career, but number one, what are you up to now? Where are you at? What you doing?
Right now, I'm still in Eden Prairie, Minnesota.
Okay. So you stayed local.
Minnesota has been home 15 years now. I'm the youth football manager for the Vikings.
Very cool. What does that involve?
Third year plus. We started the program to, number one, address kind of the participation issues in football. So a lot of our camps and clinics and initiatives are based around youth football participation, right? We want to get kids involved in youth football, whether it's a camp, whether it's a clinic, whether it's just bring them to Winter Park for, a fun day.
Yeah.
All that is based around, participation. Health and safety is a big one of our initiatives, right? Doing everything we can to push that health and safety initiative. Big partners with USA Football, and now their shoulder tackling technique.
Not leading with the head. So when you say you deal with the youth, what age group are we talking here?
Well, we deal with all age groups, first grade to high school. We got high school initiatives. One of our initiatives is the community captain, where we recognizing varsity football players. We had a flag football tournament in Mankato for 3rd and 4th graders. We have a turkey bowl during the season for 6th to 7th graders, so we try to hit all ages.
So you're used to dealing with elementary students, so I know that you'll get along very well with Meatsauce here.
When it comes to football now, and I obviously you played it as a youth, and I played it as a youth, what has changed fundamentally wise from when you played to now? And is it all based on safety? Is that the main thing that they want to cover when it comes to youth football?
Yeah, I think it's based on safety because the NFL has been basically based on safety. So
absolutely.
It's definitely a trickle-down effect. When I played, it was still, old school football. A good hard hit with your head was basically the standards of a good hit and a tough tackle. To have scuff marks on your helmet was kind of, you were a big time hitter.
Badge of honor.
So that's kind of the biggest difference right now is, we're all preaching health and safety. You can still be a big hitter, play aggressive football. But now we're just, taking your head out of it, make sure that you're shoulder tackling and being safe.
What's the one thing you miss most about just playing pro football, minus the games?
Minus the games, definitely the locker room. I know you guys hear that all the time when guys talk about they miss it. But specifically for me, when I retired, I'm at home I got 2 daughters, right? A lot of my old teammates moved away, so I don't have too many friends that have that type of camaraderie with where every Thursday we're going to dinner, or I'm gonna see you on Saturdays at the hotel, or we're gonna travel together. So you really do miss that camaraderie once you retire.
So you're still involved with the game, but on a different level. What do you do on a Sunday?
Sundays when they travel, I usually don't travel. I don't travel with the team, so I get to really sit down and watch the game and kind of, be a fan and a fake coach again.
Now, the one thing that we see a lot with Tony Romo, and Tony Romo's now big thing, is he calls the plays before, and that's like it's all over the internet where Tony Romo can see the play. Can you do that? Where you see them line up and you're like, well, they're going to go this way or this way even before it happens? Yeah,
there's certain situations that's just guaranteed. If you see this set, it's this down in distance, this tight end is off so far, it's going to be a boot. It's just common, kind of 4 or 5 plays that you can pick out certain situations where you can call them out just because you've been playing football for so long.
Do you ever find yourself kind of reacting to it and then going, oh, wait, no, I'm just sitting here on my couch?
Nah. Never have any physical reactions to the game. A lot of mental reactions, a lot of physical explosions. mental explosions, like, yelling at the guys, encouraging them.
So you see a team like Tampa, and they got a pretty stationary quarterback in Jameis Winston. He'll roll out and run a little. But when you see a guy like that, and as a linebacker, you got these big tight ends that are running down the field. They got big wide receivers. What's the one thing you want to do with Jameis? Is it keep him in the pocket?
I think you may go to his second or third read, especially as a younger quarterback. Anytime you can get him off that, first, second, and now have to either scramble or throw it to your back or throw it out of bounds. I think when you do that with a young quarterback, you'll be all right as compared to worry about if he's getting out of the pocket or if he's not.
You were with the Vikings from 2003 to 2011. There's still a couple of names that I saw that are with the team that were active when you were here. B-Rob is one.
B-Rob.
So what was it, what stories do you have, or what memories do you have of being on the same side of the ball with B-Rob?
Well, B-Rob, he came in from Texas. I know he was a 4th round pick, but he always had that pass rush mentality. Even from when he first came in, we all smelled that he was a special pass rusher. So it's amazing to see him now in his 10th, 11th season, still doing the same thing in his 3rd down package, now making moves, making the calls, shifting around, and still being able to make plays. It does me proud.
What's your best Sunday morning Brett Favre story?
Sunday morning Brett Favre story. I always remember he was always one of the first ones in the locker room with a nice cup of coffee, him and Hutch. Always had a smile on their face, always laughing and joking, no matter what the game was, no matter what the magnitude was. When you came in at 10 o'clock for a noon game, he was already there, and he was smiling. He was already dressed.
He's ready to go.
He was already dressed. He had his pants on. He had on his gear on, his sleeve. So that's really what I remember. That he was super prepared, ready to go, and he always had that lightheartedness mood in him before the game.
Good teammate?
Oh, definitely great teammate. After playing against him for 6-7 years, I had my apprehensions when he first came. All the media that he got, the soap opera style way that he came onto the field for the first time, coming out the helicopter, cameras on ESPN follow. So I had my reservations, but after he came in, he talked to everybody, gave everybody a handshake. We talked a little bit about our past games. And then when he came in and played, the play spoke for itself.
I work with Ben Lieber Mondays and Thursdays on the Power Trip Morning Show. What's your best Ben Lieber story?
Ben Lieber. I can give you a couple of Ben Lieber stories.
Safe for TV
stories. I got a
yeah.
new one, but I'm not going to say it. In the past couple of days, my man, shout out to Ben. That's my guy.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
But our name for Ben was the Senator. That was his nickname.
The Senator.
Me and Chad, the Senator, because he was always the one that, if it was something going on within the team or that the coaches wanted to talk about, Ben was always kind of the one to, take the consensus, go to the coach, and now come back to us and relay kind of what was going on. So
he likes to keep the peace.
He likes to keep the peace.
He's a good guy.
But he does has kind of a little fiery side to him. So a lot of guys really respected him and kind of really, gravitated towards his emotions.
So keeping the peace in the locker room, keeping the fire for out on the field.
I like that.
All right, that's what I would assume. So 2009, does that go without saying that is just the most amazing season that you had?
Oh, yeah.
And I think a lot of fans forget that had a bad ending for you.
It did. It was bittersweet, to see him on the sidelines in the NFC Championship game,
right?
Feeling that energy, feeling that emotion. Obviously watching us lose, but that ride was magical. Even though I had my injury and I missed the last 6 games or whatever, missed the playoff run, just being there, being in the locker room, being around the guys and seeing them enjoy that moment and making it to the top, make it to the top of the NFC and competing to make it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That was a great ride.
They 100% win if you played in that NFC Championship
I like to think
game.
So.
With that injury, how awful, just from a pain standpoint, how awful was that?
It was a bad deal.
And was it just bang, bang? It just happened?
It was bang, bang when it happened. It's kind of a long process, actually laying on the field, kind of waiting to see what was what. I specifically remember my brother was on the sideline. I don't think he was active, but having him there with me, kind of going through that madness, having him right there with me was really what made me kind of calm down and breathe and really concentrate. And I was really thinking about him being able to play now, that I was hurt. So,
And for the fans who don't remember, was it the left femur?
It was my left femur.
We're talking femur. It's not like you broke a twisted ankle or you broke something.
That's
or
the biggest
like
bone in the body,
injury.
right?
It's like,
it was a bad deal.
and it was a full break, and it's.
But I made it back. Made it back
Absolutely.
the next season.
Yeah.
Made the Pro Bowl. 2
Yeah.
seasons after that. Shout out to Eric Sugarman, Police, some of the training staff. We went through that dramatic moment together, so we always got that special bond.
So this year, Vikings Ring of Honor, they added Randy Moss. You were a teammate with Randy, I believe, twice. Would it have been? He was still with the team when you came in as a rookie, and then when we brought him back for that second time, you were still with the team there. Do you have any memories of Randy Moss?
I always say that he was the best pure athlete I ever seen. Face to face on a day-to-day basis. Some of the things he did at practice, just messing around, running routes, catching the ball, doing X, Y, Z. He was one of the most dominant players, and he was a good teammate. He was good to us, good to all the other players. Always gave it his all, regardless of what you heard. So I'm kind of proud of where he's at right now.
Absolutely.
How he developed, and obviously he's always a great man, but the man he's turned out to be, and much respect. And I'm glad he's finally getting the propers that he deserves.
Think he'll be a first ballot Hall of Famer?
He should be.
Yeah, he should be. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, EJ, thank you so much. We appreciate you coming here. It was fantastic.
Appreciate it.
And we want to thank Mystic Lake for bringing EJ here. We also want to say for Mystic Lake, you can come here on Sunday mornings. Who do you think's going to win this week? Vikings or Bucks?
Yeah, I think
There we go.
Vikings.
You got to stay with the
We'll
purple.
get 'em by.
You come here to Mystic Lake from 7 in the morning to 11:45. You can pick all the games. If the top 20 players that get the most picks right get free slot play, and if you come here all season long, you could win up to $5,000
What?
just to pick football games. But you got to come here to Mystic Lake. And if you come here to do that, home games, they'll take you free complimentary bus ride to US Bank Stadium. Come here, watch the pregame,
Sounds
watch our
perfect.
show, pick.
Sounds
Get a little
awesome.
something, play a
Yeah.
few games, hop on the bus.
Best ever.
You're at the bank.
Best ever. What a deal.
There we go.
What a deal.
Special thanks to EJ. He will be joining us for our exclusive YouTube special edition show that we have. That's
I thought that got canceled.
No, we still do that.
Oh.
You work here. We do that.
Well, I don't work
It's a
at
thing.
Mystic.
No, but you work for Meatsauce Monty. It's
Oh.
It's our YouTube. It's unedited. We can say what we
Oh,
want,
yeah,
do
yeah,
what we
yeah.
want. See, this
Yeah.
is TV friendly. Sunday
You said
morning.
YouTube, right?
I said YouTube.
Oh, okay, okay.
Not the website. What were you
Yeah.
thinking?
Well, I don't know, the one that's on my phone.
Which
It's no use to
you-
me anymore because the video limit's gone.
You're sick. Okay, time
You
for our
asked
special
me.
segment, Honest Opinions. We're gonna bring up issues that are talkers, and I want
Okay.
you to hit it hard.
Okay.
Don't give this like it's
Won't.
TV friendly,
Okay,
but
I
go
got
ahead
it.
and savage these issues.
I got it.
All right. Journalist Jim Suhan.
Yeah.
This week he wrote the QB injury. He says that we'd be playoffs with Sam. With Keenum, we wouldn't be. Do you
Yeah.
think he's right?
I 100% agree with him. Case Keenum's terrible. He's a backup quarterback. He's a backup quarterback for a reason.
See, you're trying to be mean now on purpose.
Minus Jimmy Garoppolo, there are no good backup quarterbacks.
Do you think that his
He's bad.
getting 25, 26 starts,
Nah,
that he's a backup,
like he's a quarterback
backup for a reason?
He's 100%
Other than
backup for a
Garoppolo,
reason.
do you think that he is probably one of the best backups?
Who, Case Keenum?
Yeah,
but
then we
that's
could
like,
be in a worse situation.
Yeah, but that's like me saying that my stretch marks look good on my stomach. I just say it because they're there. Like I just have to live with them.
I don't know if it has anything to do
but
with your
it's the
stretch
same,
marks.
But it's like going with it because it's there. It's like being like, well, yeah, I mean, he's good. They'd be better off with Colin Kaepernick.
Oh, now that is interesting. I wasn't going to ask about
They'd
it.
be
but
better off with Colin Kaepernick.
You think there's any chance that they,
If it's
the
a
injury
long
is-
Sam Bradford injury, yeah, if he doesn't play today and this thing just kind of continues on, they're a 3-win team with Case Keenum.
Wow.
Because the defense will tire out. You have no
Sure,
passing
sure.
game. It'll only be a running game. The defense will tire out in about week 9.
All right, staying with this theme, Suhan also then continued in the column saying that we are cursed with quarterbacks.
Yeah, I
he said
think
basically,
so.
other than Dante Culpepper and Fran Tarkenton, we haven't had a successful. And obviously, the 1 year
Well,
with Brett
Dante, the
Favre.
thing about Dante Culpepper, he was an MVP candidate minus the 50 touchdowns Peyton Manning throws.
Right.
Dante Culpepper, and you can say all you want about having Randy Moss, that's fine. But Larry Bird had Kevin McHale. Michael Jordan had Scottie Pippen. You know, you can't
have
do
me.
it all. I have you. I'd go the other way around, but that's just
sure.
me.
You're MJ.
Yeah, no, I'm not. No, I'm Scott Skiles, who barely plays and just goes in when it's necessary.
I'd be Bill Cartwright.
Who the hell is Bill Cartwright?
The center who
No one knows
tried-
who you're talking about.
Yeah, everybody
Anyhow,
knows who I'm
what were we
talking
talking about?
We were talking about
Culpepper. Yeah. Of course they're cursed. Teddy Bridgewater gets hurt in a non-contact football
At
injury.
Winter Park, his knee falls off.
Basically, and if
Yeah.
he doesn't get, if Suge doesn't save it, it's amputated.
Yeah.
That's how bad on a non-contact
Gus
drill.
Farad,
to the point
concussion
where,
with himself
where
in
they,
the wall.
They
I mean,
thought
we got a
they're
bad mojo.
Right, and every time, and the other thing you can go even farther back. The 2011 season when they went in, the game against Washington when AP
Peterson.
gets hurt, they win. They lose.
Yes.
Now, granted,
You're going further on this. Are you
if they
going
have
Ponder?
the second overall pick, okay, instead of the third, they get that loot that whoever got from that Washington got for or traded to get RG3.
RG3.
Because in the back of their mind, they're going, we got Ponder, we don't exactly know what we got. If they go even further, they take Andrew Luck with the number 1 pick. When they should lose, they win. So of course they're cursed. I 100% agree with that.
All right, let's move on. The Twins-Yankees, when they were in New York, foul ball.
Yeah.
Comes screaming 105 miles an hour
Yeah.
off the bat. It hits this little girl directly in the face.
Yeah.
Does Major League Baseball need to step up here and put safety netting, much like hockey has done, to protect the fans that are in the dugout areas?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I forgot the guy's name that hit it, but I mean,
Todd Frazier.
He literally turned on it. I mean, he ripped it. They should put it as far as they want it to go. I mean, those people are paying hundreds of dollars for those tickets, but safety's more important, especially when it comes to kids.
To protect anybody. That could have
Everybody.
been that could have been an 80-year-old
An
grandma.
elderly
It could
person,
have,
yeah.
it could have
Could have
been
been
you and
somebody in a
me. It could
wheelchair.
have been you
Yeah,
drinking
yeah.
vodka,
Yeah.
talking with your A-list
Yeah,
friends,
of course.
and boom.
We'd be sitting behind home plate.
Yeah, you'd be safe. The net
Yeah.
would protect you.
Yeah.
All right,
First base
so you
side.
say protect everybody.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, especially kids. You go to a baseball game to have fun and have memories with your parents, not to get drilled by a Todd hitting a baseball into the stands.
It was Todd Frazier. I like
Right.
that. Switching back to football, the Gophers. They're
Yeah.
on bye week this week, but they're 3-0.
Yeah, they played nobody.
What's your you're going there. What's your impression of PJ Fleck and what he's done with the team? The 3-0 means
They
pretty much
love
nothing.
him. And as I've ranted and raved about him on Twitter, and I've ranted and raved about him just in general
Which
to
is
my
fine.
friends, which
That's
is
fine.
fine. It's my opinion.
It is.
But as Tommy Olson, who played at the U, says, and he's 100% right, he's not recruiting 30-plus-year-old men. He's recruiting teenage kids.
Right.
They love him. And so if I don't like him, who cares?
Sure.
But they love him.
Yeah. Who's buying tickets?
Well, that's right.
People and we'd go to a
Yeah.
3-0 and be like, get on the bandwagon.
Sure.
However, if you don't like the coach, if that gets stale, if that becomes old, the ticket buying public, they're like, we've
I
been
don't know
on
how
this,
it could
we've been on
become
this
old.
ride
I think
before.
it's the greatest thing of all time.
Yeah.
I love PJ Fleck. Everything he does is amazing. He doesn't make it all about him. It's amazing. It's never about him.
I love
Stop
your-
running up and down the field. Stop. Just stop.
You should get a quarter zip.
I'd die.
You would look so. You
No.
should get it in
He
maroon
looks
or
good on
gold.
the field, man.
You
I
should.
will say that. He's styling and profiling, as the kids say. Does anyone say that? Is
Ric
that like
Flair
a 50s
says that.
term?
That's a great thing.
Ric Flair.
Yeah, you're a pro wrestling
No,
fan. I
I'm
know
an
you
adult.
are. You're a huge pro wrestling fan.
Woo! No,
You're still watching it.
I was gonna say no.
Yeah, Ric Flair, you know
I've
it.
seen an actual woman naked. I'm not into wrestling. Give me a break. Wrestling?
Okay.
Grow up.
Okay,
I like wrestling.
we'll save this other stuff
You're
for YouTube because
48.
this is TV friendly.
Not you,
You've
just
seen
in
a
general.
woman naked. That
fine.
scares me. Okay, time for our
Why?
predictions and to
'Cause I
wrap the
look
show.
like
No,
Bigfoot?
you're a very handsome man.
Thank you. I can see that down there.
Okay, so time for our predictions. On the season, I'm 1-1. You're 0-2. I'm going to give you first crack at this one. Vikes Bucks.
Okay,
We only
perfect.
pick Vikings games
Perfect.
for all of our fans.
If Case Keenum plays, they'll get slaughtered.
Okay.
And we might see Kyle slaughter.
So,
If Sam plays, they'll win. If Case plays, they'll get smoked.
I'm going to pick that they win no matter who's quarterback.
Really?
I don't think Tampa Bay's offense is that potent. I think our defense is going to be better, hold them in check. I think it's going to be lower. I think it's probably like a 17-14, 17-10.
Delvin Cook scores 2 touchdowns.
I like that prediction.
Yeah, he's the best.
We want to thank Mystic Lake. We want to thank the CW Twin Cities.
Thanks, Scott.
Thursday Night Lights. Scott, Todd.
There's no Todd.
Samsonite.
I was way off.
You. We'll thank everybody.
Oh, it's
All right.
Samson, isn't it?
I said Samsonite. It was a joke. Dumb and Dumber. So go to YouTube. Check out our extra show. Thanks for watching. We'll see you here next Sunday.